Huh?
What made you want to teach?
Actually, I wanted to go into social work, and they lied to me. Said if I go into education, I would have to pay the bill. And 10 years after I was still teaching, I was still paying that bill. Oh, I love you. You're so beautiful.
Hey, Granny.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Um, I feel like I'm saying your name wrong. Can you say your first name for me?
Adenika,
Adenika.
Ayana, Nunoo.
Adenika Ayana Nunu. I like that. And did she got a PhD? Are you gonna have this? Hold this up to your face like this, so you can talk to the people. Adenika Ayana Nunu.
Chokwe Lumumbo gave me that name.
Who's
And,
that?
and it means greatly loved. And
Greatly loved.
Ayana means beautiful flower.
Wow. I know. I know. Got a cousin, and her name is Ayana. Yeah, it's a good name, solid name.
Great.
Um, I gotta ask. I think you have. Okay, let's talk about you first. Let's talk about all your accolades first. First of all, you have a PhD.
Oh, that was a
You're a
yes.
doctor, a PhD.
Yes. After I retired, I don't forgot the date I retired, but anyway, I was just not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, well, go back to school and keep my mind sharp.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I did.
And how old did you when you got your doctorate?
Wow, I'm 86 now, so I was in my 60s.
Wow.
I don't know for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. What did you do? What did you do before you retired?
Before I retired, I was a teacher at Clifford Middle School, and I was a counselor because my master's degree is in Christian counseling.
Okay.
No, my doctor's in Christian counseling. My master's in behavior psychology.
Master's in behavioral psychology.
And when I was home and not in school, some of the teachers and the administrator would send people to me, and I would talk to them about their problems, give them information that I thought was good, and I did that before I got my doctor's degree. After I got my doctor's degree, I continued to counsel until I got the one person had a situation that was so horrible until I wasn't able to get off the couch when she left. I was just that transferring of energy. Just it was so that was the last time I did my counseling, and I can't remember the exact date that was.
That's okay. What made you want to teach?
Well, after I didn't go into social service work, my whole energy was about helping people.
Yep.
And seeing the best in people and trying to make sure that everybody was doing good or whatever. As a teacher, my kids got full of everything. I bought potato chips. I bought apples. I had the parents to sign okay papers to say it's okay to give your child something during the classroom, and so I rewarded the kids with a lot of beautiful things: candy, potato chips.
That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you.
Well, I still got gifts now from my kids. They were really good. They loved me and I loved them. I was one of the teachers that their children told me after they had had graduated and so forth and so on, that I was the only reason they continued to get their education.
Can I ask? When did you move to Detroit?
I moved to Detroit with my mother. I guess I wasn't school age, so I wasn't 5.
Uh,
And I had a cousin named Ralph, and he used to would take me to a place where they had other babies and and kids.
yeah.
And then he would come back after school and pick me up. So I'm thinking I was around 3 or 4.
Okay. And where did you come from? Like,
I believe that my grandmother, it was, I think she's pure Indian, and I can remember being with her. I can remember running around her house that was built on, it was held up with rocks, and it was just a big field. That's my memory of her. And when Bill Winters came out singing Grandma's Hand, I remember that's when her memory came back to me, because I could remember someone rubbing my arms and doing that.
yeah.
So now after coming to Detroit and being here for years and graduating and going to high school, she came back into my life. Yeah, and that was I can't explain how pleased that was and how much I loved her.
This is your grandma
That was my grandmother on my father's side.
on your father's side. Do you have any siblings? Did you come up by yourself?
I was the only child that my mother had.
Okay. But your father had other children?
Yes. And the oldest child that he had was older than me. And I can't tell you how nobody could have a better brother.
Yeah.
He loved me and was so protective over me. And my grandmother came back into my life, and she was the same way. So I was the only girl that she had. And I'm the only girl that only sister that my brother had. So he had lots of boys and different things, but he himself, was the only brother that I had, and I was the only sister he had.
Okay.
At that time.
So were you guys close growing up?
No, I didn't. I met my brother for the first time when I was around 11 years old.
11. 11. How did you guys meet?
He moved to Detroit. My father knew that I was in Detroit, so he moved to Detroit, and somehow or another he found me, and I was about 12 or 13.
Okay.
And like I said, he was very protective, very loving, and he passed a couple of years ago.
Do you know if he had any kids himself?
Oh yes, I have. He has lost 2 kids, and he has 3 kids left. Yeah, he has 3 kids left, 2 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
I have a good relationship with them too.
How do you know? So how many children do you have?
Oh, I had 3.
3.
And out of that 3, Angel's child only had 5 kids. Then another one had 2 kids. Altogether, right now, I got about 50 grandkids and about 15 or 20 great-grandkids.
But you yourself, you gave birth to 3.
I just had 3.
You gave birth to 3. And that's Auntie Angel and...
Dorothea was first.
Dorothea?
No, excuse me. John was first.
Okay. It's my granddad.
Yeah, and then Angel was the second, and Teresa was the third.
Okay. So how old are you when you had my granddad?
I don't want to say that.
You don't want to say that? Was it young? You're too young?
I was really young. Really, yeah.
Okay, fair.
Well, I'm 16 years older than he is.
Okay, fair. My mom, she had my oldest brother when she was 16 as well. When she was 16 as well.
Yes.
But she's a great mom. You don't have the same last name as my grandfather.
Well, I got after John, my first child, was born. He was a few months old when I got married to Emerson Dothert. We call him Jimmy,
Jimmy.
and I got married uh, to, to to him. And then Angel was born,
Mm.
and then a couple of years later, Therese was born.
Uh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You're you're an author, right? You're an author?
Uh, you mean a writer?
Yeah, you're a
Oh,
writer.
yes.
You're a writer. You've written
Yeah.
books.
I've written books, and I published one. Uh, uh, Growing old without no aging without familiar words.
Aging without familiar words.
You know, you're used to people saying, "Oh, you so cute," or "Child, you so pretty," this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, truth and reality brings you aging, and you really don't like what you see in the mirror, and so. But truth and reality is what it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
And most of us have a tendency to make friends with lies and denial.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Okay. So,
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you about my beginnings. When my mother brought me here, she came by herself.
mhm,
And about, I don't know how many years later, my stepfather came.
mm,
And because he looked like he was white, he couldn't get married down there. And at the time, it was against the law to get married here in Detroit.
mm,
So he put a lie on his birth certificate, not on birth certificate, but on the records where he went to work.
mhm,
And so during that marriage, I never heard an argument. I never seen in other words, I was 5 and 6 years old and had never heard a curse word.
mm,
And you know, and he was a good stepfather. But my mother got sick, and then I had to go stay with her family. My grandfather on her side, Jim Thomas, and his wife. I can't think of her name right now, Julia Thomas. And while I was down there, I learned about the outside bathrooms,
yeah,
and she told me she used to go pick cotton, and I was once in trouble because I had never been whipped, or I didn't even know.
and this is your grandma,
This is my mother's stepmother,
your mother's stepmother.
but she was. I loved her. It made no difference to me. I loved her,
Yeah,
and she was good to me. Um, the only thing that I think that's worth talking about is the abuse and that black people took at that time and had to go through. So when she went to pick cotton, she told me to stay in the house. I had about a penny or something like that, and the store was just a block away. So I just ran to the store and got me some candy. On my way back, I heard one man say in a doorway, some kind of way, I heard this man say, "Get her." And the other man said, "Oh, no, that's Julia Thomas' granddaughter." So being a good person, if you were black, you know, saved your life because I'm pretty sure it saved mine.
yeah, yeah.
But we had that one room, and they slept in the bed, and I slept on a cot or something like that. Yeah. Okay, I love you a lot. I hear you done told some stories about how I was always there and nobody messed with my babies. Well, you know I love you, Kenny, and I do want to hear from you. Because I'm not as well as I want to be, And yeah, so every little thing helps me stay here. Okay, I love you a lot, honey. You got the most beautiful child in the world. Oh my God. Oh, he's just. Oh my goodness. Okay, what happened? Bye.
So, so this is your mom's stepmom,
Mm-hmm. Julia Thomas.
Julia Thomas. How was so having my grandfather so young? How did that go?
Well, like I said, when my stepfather passed, and we moved from 274 Watson on the east side. Um, we moved from there to a place they call Black Bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That was an eye awakening. I first heard some words that I had never heard before, but I was taken back by them. I liked them. I liked the way they,
Yeah.
and so I was learning a lot of stuff that I had no concept about. And when I graduated from middle school and was going to high school.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the high school right now, but
It's okay.
I met this guy. He was a big guy in athletics athlete or something,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a fancy for me,
Yeah.
and so that's what happened. Believe me, you would not believe how dumb I was about things like that. I'd never experienced anything. No whipping, no hollering, no screaming, no nothing.
Okay, but you liked him, and you had
I liked him a lot, and he told me I did what he told me to do, and that's all I can say about that.
So, how long were you guys together?
Until my mother found out, and I was pregnant.
Oh, so she made you guys split apart.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be in my son's life, but my mother, I think I was 15,
Mm.
and so when he kept coming, and my mother told him, if he come back again, she's gonna put him in jail because it was rape.
Mm.
That's what they called it at that time.
Mm.
Believe me,
Because he was too old.
I guess he was probably getting ready to graduate. I think he's about 18.
Mm. Mm. Did you ever? So you never seen him again?
Oh, he really tried. He did everything he could to sneak around and have people call me, not call me, but come by and tell me,
Yeah.
and wanted me to meet with him, and I wasn't going to do that.
Mm.
And by now, I know what a whipping was.
Yeah.
And I've seen other people being whipped with a belt and an ironing cord. And I had never, that had not been my experience.
Your upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't want that. You were scared of that. Okay. And that was the first. So when you had Angel's the middle, right?
Well, John was about 6 months old when I met Jimmy, my Angel's mother, Angel's father. And he was in love with me, and he wanted to marry me, and we were just friends until we got married.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was I wasn't into, I had not been around other kids. I was the only child that my mother had, and that's my experience was no cursing, no fighting, no.
Yeah.
So he was just a really nice person to me, and we got married. My mother went with us because I wasn't. I don't forget how old I was. I was 15, 16 when John was born.
So you're saying you were married when You got married
Yeah, I
6 months later after.
yeah, about 6 months later. I got
Wow.
married after my son was born, and then after that, Therese was born.
Was that like you were married so young? How was that like commonplace at that time?
No, your mother had to go. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
My mother had to go with me,
Uh.
and we went to some kind of courthouse.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think she approved of said Jimmy and not the
Well,
athlete?
he come and he was responsible. He was respectful to her,
Mm.
And all we were doing was sitting on the porch, and she in the house watching. So.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
How long were you guys together?
Well, we had some problems. He had some problems.
Yeah.
I'd rather not say too much about that
That's
because he's
okay.
a kid's father.
Yeah.
But he had some problems, and excuse me, I shouldn't have done that.
It's okay.
But I stayed with him, and the problems he had caused me not to have food and stuff.
Mm.
And I was like 5 or 6 months pregnant with Angel.
Mm.
And so I ended up in a hospital. And when I got out of the hospital, I didn't go back.
Okay.
And so 2 or 3 years later, he wanted to, he kept wanting to go back and so forth and so on, and promised me that he was not, he was drug free.
Okay.
And I believed him, and I went back with him. And
Was he telling the truth? Was he actually not drug free?
Pardon?
I said, was he telling the truth? Was he actually not drug free? Did it get better?
Well, he might not have been at that time. I don't know for sure, but I do know that he was lying. I'm pretty sure he was lying because I saw it myself. I come in and saw it, and the food was getting scarce, and a lot of stuff started happening. And like I said, I wasn't eating, and I ended up in the hospital. So that was with Angel that I ended up in the hospital. But with him coming back, and when I found out about it, okay, Therese was born, and I was still with him.
Mm.
And a week after she was born, I ended up in the hospital with what they call puerperal fever.
Mm.
And I stayed in the hospital for about a week. And when I came out, the person who had been taking care of her was her auntie, my husband's sister, Irene.
Mm.
And things happened where Irene and I both knew what was going on. And so I went and tried to get social service, and that's how I got away from that marriage.
Okay, good. Good. So when you got away from that marriage, how old were you? Do you remember?
I don't know. Let me see. 15, 16. I don't think I was 20 years old.
Mm.
Angel was born in 56. John was born in 54. Angel was born in 56. Therese was born in 59.
Mm.
And 15. I was about 19 or 20.
Mm.
Very young still.
Very young. So you were 19 and 20 and you were done having kids.
Yes.
You were done having kids. 19, 20.
I didn't want nothing to come near me.
So once you were at that stage, like,
Well, what I did, when I knew for sure what was going on, I went to social service, and I spoke with a young lady who was very caring, and she knew what I had gone through. Was in the hospital before Therese was born, and was in the hospital after Therese was born, and now things began to kind of fall into place because when you don't, I didn't know anything about drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so um, I stayed with a friend down the hall for about 2 weeks, and then I got me an apartment, and they paid for the apartment or something like that happened.
Okay, good.
Hmm.
Good.
At some point, I ended up on Burnett Street, and I wanted to go back to school. Therese was about 3 or 4. Uh, no, she was in school, but because I had to wait until she was in school all day in order for me to go back to school. So she was about 5 years old when I went back to school. I went back to high school. They had an adult day high school in Detroit.
So you went back to school like after you were 20?
Yeah, after I was 20,
Okay.
I went back to school and I started, I think in the eighth grade because I had not really finished the ninth grade or did too much.
Um. Okay.
And so I saw that through. And then after I got that, uh, the Burnett family, all the neighbors, I didn't have to worry about my kids when at some point they were taking the kids and feeding the kids and buying clothes for the kids. They were just everything, helping me to do what I had to do.
Okay.
So when I graduated from adult day school, my next thing was to try to go uh, to college,
Mm-hmm.
and so I went to I forget the name of the college. It was and well anyway I went to mm, well it's here in Detroit.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not in Detroit. It's one of these little suburb Highland Park.
Highland Park.
Highland Park College. And I graduated from Highland Park College and went to Wayne State.
Mm.
And then after I graduated from Wayne State, uh, I applied. I mean, after I graduated from Highland Park, I went to Wayne State. And after I got through with Wayne State, I applied for a job in several places. And I end up, now what did I say? I went to Highland Park.
Yeah.
And then I went to Wayne State. Okay, now I stayed at Wayne State until I graduated.
Mm.
And I don't know. After graduating, I was still on. I think I was still on welfare for a while,
Okay.
and that's it. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you graduated doing social work.
I graduated while I was still on social service,
Mm.
and
So did you go into social work after graduating?
okay. After I graduated from Wayne State, oh, that's right. I went into teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 86, y'all might have to cut some of this out.
It's okay.
But when I graduated from Wayne State, actually, I had a job waiting for me. Because when I did my student teaching, I was really good, and the kids really liked me. And so it was like you had to give her a job.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the community and everything. I was writing poetry and I was putting on plays and I was being honored for those things. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And I was still a student at that point. Yeah.
What like? So you say you write poetry.
Yeah. I was kind of militant with my poetry. Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
And it's not, to me, that's not militant, it's just a fact.
It's just a fact. When it came to your writing, what was your purpose for writing?
I have so much writing here that I wish I could find and give to you. It was really good writing. And people supported me with my writing. People, the administrators at the school, um, people were just really good about that. And what is the guy I told you that gave me my name? Uh, he came into the picture because he was, well, I don't forget what he called the group, but he was a group of people who were trying to get better jobs for black folks, get better pay, that kind of thing. And Chuckway Lumumba.
Chuckway Lumumba.
And so
that's the name of the group.
Yeah, no, that was the guy that was the head of the group.
Okay, Chuckway Lumumba.
Chuckway Lumumba. He also became, I think, the mayor of Georgia or something like that. But he was very nice. There was nothing going on, but he was very protective of me because I didn't know much. But that was it. We were just good friends.
Good.
And he had a naming ceremony, and I went downtown and made it legal.
Okay.
So
what? My fault.
Okay. So anyway, after meeting him is when I went to Wayne State and got my degree and started teaching. And don't ask me what year. I don't forget.
It's okay. Were you ever involved with, like, the Black Panther Party?
No, I wasn't involved in the Black Panther, but I think we were just like that. I can't remember the name at this point, but it was very effective, and I was known because I was writing poetry.
Republican New Africa.
Republic of New Africa. That's. Yeah.
I love that.
And so yeah.
During that time when during the marches and things of that nature, like,
I got out there.
You got out there.
Yeah, one of my kids got killed by a policeman.
Wow.
One of the kids that was part of the group. And at that time, I had Angel was at Job Corps, and I just had Therese. And about 15 or 16, I used to be pretty loud about stuff. And so I had about 15 or 16 people following me, and I'm just walking back and forth in front of the police station.
Wow.
And we got our signs about killing black folks and whatever else the signs might have been said.
Yeah.
And I'm up on the steps of the police station, and I was coming down, and all of a sudden I heard this wrestling and tussling, and I looked back, and this lady had her hand up in the police had her hand up in the air, and she had a gun. And that was the last time. Therese was not too much more than a baby. I threw her right in the car.
Wow.
I mean, and you talking about moving. I said, y'all, I'm gone. I'm done. And that was the last time that I did anything like that, except when teachers were on strike and stuff like that.
Yeah. So when teachers are on strike, being a teacher, did you also go on strike?
I went. Yeah, everybody was on strike. We were not being paid, so I was out there with them. Yeah, and I was trying not to be on the outside of the group. Yeah. So.
Okay. So was that being a teacher, like going on strike? How did that affect your life? Did it make it harder?
Oh boy, I didn't know. At some point, I didn't know how I was going to make my rent. I didn't know how I was going to do anything because I didn't have any money.
But you still went on strike.
Yeah, I had no choice. I had just at this particular time, I had not been working. Uh, I don't know, maybe a few months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, uh, the uh, the program that I was in, you did teaching, but you were still a student,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I did, and you didn't get paid for that.
Mm.
But so I was on social service, and I had just met the husband that just the husband that just passed,
Mm.
and so we were both, struggling.
How did you meet your husband?
The
The last
okay,
one.
yeah, Mr. Nunoo
Mr. Nunu.
is from Ghana,
Mm.
and he and they would gather together, and have parties
Mm.
and things like that. And so that's I don't know who I went.
You're going out to parties?
I went to that party. Mhm.
You bumped into him. Like,
Yeah.
how did you find out that you wanted to marry him?
Oh, well, we started talking and spending time together, and he was one of the kindest. When I first met him, uh, there was something so kind about him.
Mm.
And there was a little situation with a little boy and a little girl. I don't forget exactly how it happened, but the way he explained it, he said, "Well, would you want her to do you like that?" And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that kind of
He had empathy.
Yeah, that touched my heart.
He had empathy. That's good. That's good.
So after 5 years later, we got married.
5 years.
Hmm
5 years. Um, what did he do? Was he like for work?
He was still in school.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Michigan State at that time,
Mm.
and he graduated from Michigan State and then went to some kind of Bible school
Mm.
somewhere north of Detroit. I've gone there a couple of times. I don't remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got into the cab business. He bought 2 cabs. And he was just doing labor at one of these buildings, one of these hotels.
Mm.
That's what he was doing, working, cleaning and stuff like that. And anyway, he made everything work, and he bought these cabs or got it. I don't know how he did it, but he had he ended up with about 3 or 4 cabs, and he was driving one, and other people were driving other.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And how long were you guys together?
About 30 years.
30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And did you enjoy your relationship with him?
Oh, I loved him very much. Yeah, yeah. He was a strong disciplinarian, and my oldest daughter, who is now since passed,
Mm.
was
Auntie Angel.
was at Job Corps, and Therese was with me. He wanted Therese to stay in school, and he wanted her to write more and to read more.
Mm.
And I wasn't there. I wanted her to enjoy herself.
Yeah.
That was our biggest argument. No, you don't say nothing to my child. I'll talk to her. No, nobody. So I didn't allow that. So I'm the only disciplinarian for her.
Mm.
And she's never been whipped or hollered at or any of those kind of things.
That's good. That's good.
Mm. So what's the next question? I don't forget.
My fault. It's okay. Let me get here. So,
When did I get my doctorates?
yeah, where did you get your doctorate?
During the time, all this time, there was a doctor, Dr. Cowell,
Mm.
and he would let me come. I was going to see him. That was my doctor,
Mm.
and he started talking to me about going back to school. That's how I happened to go back to school. He let me come in and told me to learn to type. And so I used his typewriter. And then at some point, I don't know how I got the typewriter. I don't remember paying for it myself. But no, I think it came from his office. And after he taught me and gave me a book and showed me how I learned how to type, and he said, now you can get a job and you can come work for me. But at that time, other things were happening in my life, and I think I had started school at Holland Park. Yeah. So it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And you're making memories that I have forgotten all about. But they were good memories because he was one of the people who wrote a letter of recommendation for me to go to school. Reverend Hood's mother wrote a recommendation for me, and then she became my teacher for 2 classes. She was brilliant. And
Who is Reverend Hood?
Reverend Hood is my pastor now. And she was the one that kept encouraging me to join the church. So I did eventually. And he's been a wonderful pastor. My mother, he served her funeral. He served my daughter's funeral. He served my husband's funeral. So he's been a wonderful pastor.
And when did you join the church? Like, how old were you when you joined the church?
Oh, the kids were, I can tell by Therese. I think she was in her teens when I joined the church. She might have been, I don't think any of her kids were born. And I think the oldest one might be in her 30s or something like that. Anyway, I did join the church and have been with them for a long time.
Okay.
I don't know how long.
That's okay. That's okay. I think I want to talk about a few of your books, and then we'll wrap it up. But don't feel like
I think you proud of me. I know you're proud of me, but I think you got me. You got my personality. Because I'm pretty much like you. I was always. I started writing poetry. I've always had some kind of tendency to put things down and make it rhyme.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a lot of poetry about black power and stuff like that. And when I started teaching, I did not allow any child to call themselves Negro. And that wasn't something everybody was doing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just didn't feel we're not related to this land. We came from Africa.
Exactly.
And so if you're Chinese and you came from China, you're Chinese American if you're
exactly.
here. So that's what I taught the kids. We are African Americans. We are human beings. We are men and women. We are not Negroes or niggers. And yeah, I didn't like that.
Would you be willing to read a poem for us?
Well, I don't see like I used to see.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I don't know if I did have a poem somewhere written already. In fact, one of the papers that I'm giving you.
Yeah, I guess I got a poem in there.
It's got a poem in there, but I can't read it. I don't know it by heart.
It's okay. I will.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. You want to find it?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think it's a poem built on what? Okay.
Yeah. You think it's in this one? It's the one I got right here.
What?
You write in cursive.
Um,
Uh,
I know one in there that I paraphrased uh, the 23rd Psalm, but
Characters,
this
truth,
what I just gave you?
lies. Yep, this is what you gave me, but also you gave me this here.
Yeah, that looks like what is that?
Personal
Not
parenting concepts.
it should be kind of.
My God is.
My God is that's okay.
That's one.
That's one.
Okay, I'll read this one. I'll read this one.
What does I can't see.
I like this one. Okay, I got you. I got you. I think these are
Get the
parenting teacher and concerned persons.
Oh,
The personality of today's world has changed.
oh, that's some of the things I used to say in my conferences, and I used to go from church to church and talk about child rearing, and I let them know that I made all the mistakes, and I could see the consequences. And we talked about early childhood behavior.
Mm.
Whatever they experience in those early years, they have a higher tolerance for it in their later years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I thought all discipline should be done with verbal understanding why it's wrong, and this that way the child not only learn verbal skills but and listening skills, but he learned to be a better person.
Mm.
Hmm. So early childhood development is just so important because if you like me,
Mm-hmm.
I've never I don't know how my mother whipped me when she thought I was pregnant. I think that was the first time but then I didn't have no tolerance for it.
Mm-hmm.
So in any relationship, I've had a couple of relationships. I had one that slapped me. That was the end of that relationship. The love, I don't know what happened. It just left.
Yeah, left with the slap.
It left, and they called me names. Left.
Left.
Hmm. So those few boyfriends that I had, no, I didn't have that. I didn't have that beginning. I don't have no tolerance for being abused like that.
That's good. I'm happy. I'm happy you said that. I'm gonna read this "My God Is" poem.
Okay.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you don't. Whatever you teaching your child, and the love and the respect you give your child, that's what he's. That's all she's gonna know. That's all she's gonna tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
Or he or she.
Yeah. So it says, God is my provider, my protector. He guides me. He guides and directs me in the way I shall go. He supplies me with all my earthly and spiritual needs. He's my source of good health, mentally, emotionally, and physically. He blesses me with a calm and loving environment of friends, family, and loved ones. He blesses me with a desire to learn, to grow, to share, and lend a helping hand. My God blesses my dreams so that I can succeed, heals my wounds so that I can forgive, restore my soul so that I am saved, and He keeps me with a mind to do right. Yes, I sometimes walk in the low places I am where I am confronted with shadows and hate, deception, corruption, and even death. But I walk boldly and without fear, for these are the times I know and feel the presence of God guiding, directing, and protecting me against any evil that comes against me. His rod of mercy disciplines me, and his staff of angels teaches me, loves me, and comforts me in my daily tasks. Therefore, in the midst of stress and great upheaval, I realize and experience many anointing, uplifting, and glorious blessings. This is how I know that whenever I am, God is. In the holy name of Jesus, I thank you, God. Amen.
So that was pretty nice.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that.
Well, that's yours. Keep it.
I will. I'm gonna frame it.
Well, okay, I got a frame. Oh, you wanted to see? I told you about that. Oh, I showed you the paper, didn't I? That
Yep.
five.
Yeah, you showed me.
700 pictures.
Thank you for doing this interview with me, Dr. Nunoo.
Thank you so much for being.
I love you so much.
Thank you for loving me like that. I feel it.
Oh my God. I got no other
You know
choice.
what? I think when you get my age and you have so many problems that you never had before, to know that your family love and appreciate you, I think it gives you more time on this earth.
Yeah.
So I love you for that. And thank you so much for the attention you're giving me. I needed that.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come by more often, okay?
All right. Thank you.
I know you want me to do some lawn work. I got you.
Yeah. Well.
If you do want me to do it.
No. Yeah. But see, I like doing it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just like to just be out there to help me because I like doing it. And I know how to do it. Dig down near the wall and pour the stuff in. So.
Okay. I'll do it with you sometime. This necklace looks good on you. It looks nice on you. Thank you, Granny. The ceiling. Bye, guys. Enjoy life. Free Palestine.
Your dad must have been telling you how I used to get mad at black folks.
Yeah, he did.